All right. Testing. Okay. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Cool Beans Hot Stuff. Today is my very last Wildlife Wednesdays. And that's kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of a bummer for me, maybe. I like talking about the animals. But apparently, no one else does. Because these are my, least watched videos on YouTube. And when I live stream, I get no viewers, zero, nada, except for my cutie pie. Hey there, cutie pie. I know you're watching, but don't get a lot of fanfare for the animals. So fuck the animals. This is gonna be my last Wildlife Wednesdays, and so I wanted to go out with my favorite kind of animals. Right, talking about dinosaurs, the dopest kind of animals there is, man. I'm still gonna do some dinosaur vids. You bet your ass. I like dinosaurs way too much. I'm a nerdy fuck like that, and I'm gonna definitely do like a megalodon day, Titanoboa day, big ass snakes. Right, I'm gonna still do that shit, but it's gonna be on like my terrifying Tuesdays. So still gonna do it, but not as much as I have been doing it. More dinosaurs, less about the animals. I got a cough, and I don't have a mute button. Okay, I saved that one. So today we're gonna do the second installment. We're gonna go about as normal. I'm going to do what was going to be the second of three installments of my Apex Predator series. That's going to end today. So today is the second and last installment of the Apex Predator series. I might bring it back on Terrifying Tuesdays, but today is Apex Predators of the Mesozoic era. So we're going to go through some of my favorite and craziest dinosaurs from the Mesozoic era, all the baddies, and learn a little bit about them, right? Because we're a bunch of weirdos on this channel that like to learn about dinosaurs. But before we do that, I did see something last night that's kind of wildlife related that I did want to shout out just because it's kind of a bummer. But this Save a Fox YouTube channel got 2.5 million subscribers here. I've been watching this here and there. It kind of pops up on my feed every so often. This lady here playing with her fox, Finnegan Fox. If you've ever seen the Finnegan Fox videos, this is this lady, the Save a Fox. And unfortunately, she passed away just a couple days ago. That's what this video right here, very emotional video with her husband crying, an unimaginable loss for the rescue. Um, Pretty sad. And she actually, I wanted to bring it up, not to, because I can't watch this video. It's brutal, man, emotionally brutal. I watched it the other night, but she actually, I didn't realize she was autistic, for one thing. Autistic and struggling with depression, I guess, from what her husband said. Dedicated her life to rescuing the foxes, killed herself, ended her life due to cyberbullying. So I got some of the gist to it. I wasn't going to talk a whole lot about the cyberbullying aspect of it because there's a lot of people talking about it. And there's a lot of people who, some of them are regretting doing it. And then others are actually holding the line. There's a couple of them out there that are like, nah, fuck that. I told that bitch, I gave her a 1-2 and I don't even care. So there's a lot of people who going over after them. So I'm not going to jump on the whole dog pile or anything, throw my 2 cents into this ring. But I just thought that was sad. That's a real big bummer. I really enjoyed her YouTube channel. And I was going to link it in the description for the YouTube with the video from her husband because it is a really dope channel. And she was doing this. I don't know how long she did this channel here. I guess we could click right here. 2009. Wow. Well, that's when she joined. I don't know how long she's been making videos, but she would make the videos with all the cute little foxes and shit playing. And supposedly all the proceeds from the YouTube channel went to the Save a Fox Foundation, which was her foundation that she started. And that's a cool deal. Obviously, this is my Wildlife Wednesdays last day for Wildlife Wednesdays, but I wouldn't have started it if I didn't think animals were dope, right? So I like this channel. If you enjoy cute videos, interesting videos about, well, foxes, it's mostly just foxes, but the foxes are damn cute, bro. I don't even give a fuck. They're cute as shit. Um, then yeah, go check that channel out. As for right now, it's still up and running, and I imagine proceeds still go to the Save a Fox Foundation, but thought that was a huge bummer that that channel's gone and that it ended in that way. That really sucks, man. I know, cyberbullying. It sounds like a lot of this happened on Reddit from what I watched. I did watch this video here that I'll link in the YouTube description too. That Asmongold, the video's titled "Reddit is fucking evil, man." And I kind of agree with that to an extent. I agreed with that way before Asmongold ever said some shit about it. But this was a video I watched that turned me on to it, and it goes through the whole bullying thing, who exactly bullied her, what they were saying, and they were saying some kind of nasty shit. Supposedly, I guess in the world of animal rescue, this is really crazy. But what a bunch of people, even on Reddit, were saying is that in the world of animal rescue, there's some real mean motherfuckers, and you'll get two rescues that are both trying to rescue a certain amount of animals, certain kind of animals like foxes, and one will start talking mad shit on the other to kind of try to discredit them so less people go to that particular rescue when a rescue is needed for whatever reason. It's a pretty cutthroat business, I guess. So that's supposedly where some of this drama initiated. Again, I'm not going to dive into it. I don't know how true that is, but I'll link this video in the description. It's a good video, goes over some of the information involved in the situation. I don't think it goes over everything, but it goes over a decent amount. So I was going to link her, the Save a Fox YouTube page. And here, let me actually save these right now so I can do that. I don't forget. Gonna link this one, Asmongold's, because it's a pretty decent video. And then probably don't need that. That's just a Reddit. And sounds like nobody needs to go on Reddit anytime soon. Yeah, I've actually been considering doing a separate YouTube channel where I'm might just break down and do the fucking videos, actual YouTube videos. I've been getting a better hang of the editing software for YouTube because I don't have any experience with that. I have a lot of experience with audio software though. So it's kind of very similar. It's kind of similar. It's more similar than I imagined it would be. But I was going to start making actual YouTube videos, not just live streaming. I like the live streaming part, but I was going to start making the YouTube videos about Reddit. I thought that would be really fun and entertaining because I do spend a lot of time on Reddit, but I'm mostly just a visitor there just to watch people throw shade at each other and just make each other feel like shit because it is kind of entertaining to watch people just go at each other's throats over stupid shit because they really do. I mean, people will start arguments over the dumbest shit on Reddit. And sometimes you just see people on Reddit who are just like the absolute shittiest human beings who just say some of the meanest, nastiest shit to each other over the dumbest fucking crap. And I thought that would be good material for a show, to be honest, to throw that shit out there because things like this, like there is a lot of issues with Reddit. They got these snark Reddit things, which, hey, I'm on Twitch, so anybody runs through this VOD, there's probably a lot of Twitchers who know about the snark for various different streamers. But these snark pages are almost dedicated, some of them, not all of them from my understanding, but the ones I've seen are like dedicated subreddits to harassing people. And in some cases, they go very fucking far. And that's crazy because that breaks Reddit's terms of service, but they still allow it to happen. And that kind of shit is ridiculous. It's stupid. It just makes the internet shittier for everybody. Look, you say what you want. I'm not, the kind of guy who thinks you should get taken off the internet for talking shit. Like, talk shit. Say nasty things, man. If you can't take the nastiness, then definitely stay off the internet. That's a little bit more difficult for a person in that lady's situation because she was on the internet to get funds for her Save a Fox Foundation. And all she was doing was just posting fucking videos of her fox. And still, people were fucking harassing her. But, so it is what it is. But, when you get to the point that you're like genuinely harassing, like targeted campaigns, like you got people going to every single profile you have on every piece of social media and are saying heinous things to you, then yeah, wherever that effort is starting, where people are coming together to make this happen, that should be, I think, yeah, 100%. And it's already in Reddit's terms of service. You can't have a subreddit that's dedicated to causing harassment to other people. So it's already in the terms of service. So just do your fucking job and make sure that shit isn't in there, you know? So I, would it would be I would have fun calling attention to that kind of shit and making a YouTube channel just dedicated to shitting on the shitty people on Reddit. I think that would be fun, but it would call attention to something that I do think is a serious problem as far as the internet's concerned. But I don't know, just an idea. If you find this video on YouTube, then and you think that's a good idea, definitely say something in the comments, because then if I get people who are behind that, I'm going to jump on that shit. So I think that would be a good idea. Anyway, before we do that, we're going to stick to ourselves and we're going to talk about dinosaurs. I just wanted to call out the Finnegan Fox, Save a Fox Foundation lady. That's real sad. I feel very sorry for her family, her husband. She had 2 kids. I guess I feel very, very sorry for them. Whole situation's a bad situation, but wanted to call her out because she made good content that I really enjoyed. And a lot of people I know had watched her content and really enjoyed it. So, hopefully she's in a better place. I don't know if she was religious or not, but if she was, then whatever she thought was afterlife, then I hope she's there. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump into dinosaurs. Much less depressing shit than that. So, we're on the Mesozoic era right here, which includes the Triassic period, the Jurassic period, and the Cretaceous period, right? All 3 of them. Bam, right there. Okay. Mesozoic era. So, last time we did Paleozoic era. In the Paleozoic era, there's a lot of them in here, whole lot of periods, but it's mostly really big glorified shrimp, is one way to put it. A lot of the apex predators of the Paleozoic, we went over this. There are some sharks there are some fish there, and there are some big ones, but a lot of goofy shit. Right, which kind of makes it fun because there's some goofy ass shit that happened in the Paleozoic. That's like that point in, that's when God was kind of like smoking too much of the reefer, right? And just thought of some wild ass shit, like a fucking shark with a buzzsaw in its mouth, right? You think I'm making that up? That was a fucking thing, right? So, yeah, actually, I think that's a fossil of it right there. That's what that, or no, this guy right here is the buzzsaw from the shark's mouth. I forget the name of it because it's a long name and I never did say it right. Even when I have somebody coaching me on how to say it, I still fuck it up. So we're going to call it buzzsaw mouth. But buzzsaw mouth comes from the Paleozoic era. The Mesozoic era has some more of the, what's the word that I'm looking for? The expected bad motherfuckers, right? That's the era that has all the real big scary sons of bitches, right? So there's so many apex predators from this era. I didn't know how to pick out of all the ones that I found. I was like, I'm just going to pick a good range that goes from like kind of like smaller ground animals to the ocean to the big old bad sons of bitches all the way to the shit in the air, the birds, right? Because there are some birds that'll fuck you up in the Mesozoic era, right? So we're going to talk about at least one of them, right? But so yeah, those are the ones I got for you. You could make so many streams on this, assuming people wanted to watch them. It doesn't seem like people want to watch dinosaur streams, or at least my dinosaur streams. So it is what it is. But today we're saying fuck it. Fuck all those losers and their lack of love for dinosaurs, them sons of bitches. Us nerds are going to sit and we're going to talk about dinosaurs from the Mesozoic era. So first, let's learn a little bit about the Mesozoic era. The Mesozoic era started 252 million years ago after a mass extinction event. This era is divided into 3 geological periods, the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods. Mesozoic timeline. The Triassic period was about 252 to 201 million years ago. This period happened after the biggest extinction in Earth's history that wiped out 96% of marine life and 70% of land life. The exact cause of the extinction isn't fully known, but it allowed the existence of dinosaurs like the Aeroraptor, which was a 2-legged omnivore around 2 feet long. So that's gigantic extinction you can see right here in this image. Gigantic extinction right in between the Paleozoic and the Mesozoic. That's what they're talking about. Okay. The Jurassic period that comes after that, 201 to 145 million years ago. During this period, scientists claimed that the Aeroraptor evolved into many different types of dinosaurs and ruled the planet. At the same time, the supercontinent of Pangaea was surrounded by the Panthalassa. the Panthalassa Ocean started to split apart, created a rift between what is now Africa and South America. Then we have the Cretaceous period. This was 145 to 66 million years ago. For 135 million years, dinosaurs continued to dominate the planet with over 1,000 different terrestrial and marine species. The recorded largest dinosaurs was the Argentinosaurus, which weighed about 200,000 pounds. Woo! And that guy wasn't. That was a herbivore, so he's not going to be on our list of apex predators, right? Although I imagine a lot of these apex predators didn't really want to fuck with that guy. So, the climate and environment. The Mesozoic era is believed to have had a dry climate most of the time because of the presence of evaporites, which are minerals that form in dry conditions. For example, fern fossils from this era lived in a warm climate. Today, ferns can't withstand cold temperatures, so scientists think either the high altitudes were warmer back then or ferns from the Mesozoic era were able to tolerate colder conditions. Right? I mean, they're scientists. That's pretty logical. Yeah, give it up for the scientist. End of the Mesozoic era. Another cough. Balls. 65 million years ago, an event ended the Mesozoic era. That was the asteroid, around 6 miles wide, struck the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The impact created a huge shockwave and massive tsunamis, causing widespread destruction across the planet. The impact also sent dust and debris into the atmosphere, blocking the sun and creating a long winter. Because of this, about 75% of life on Earth, especially the dinosaurs, died. They're done. However, small birds and mammals survived because they could adapt to the harsh, changing environments. Hooray for the small birds. So, there's a little bit about the Mesozoic era. Here's that big extinction event, right, y'all? And then that would be the start of the Cenozoic era, which we might never ever get to talk about. Maybe. I don't know. Who cares? Let's jump into my first apex predator for you guys. This is scroll up, the Saurosuchus. And here's some pictures of this bad boy for you. There's a skeleton. And here's the size of one of these sons of bitches. Pretty big. You know, I mean, as far as you're concerned, right? 1.8 meter tall person. I think that was somewhere around 5'9", 5'8", maybe 5'7", something like that. But, you know, slightly below average size dude. Get his shit rocked by that bad boy, right? And then here's what it looks like with skin. You know, you don't want that mouth coming at you. Another one. So think of it like a big-headed crocodile. That's what it kind of is, right? Crocodile with an even bigger ass head, and this one's made to walk on land. If that doesn't fuck you up, you know? So the Saurosuchus, meaning lizard crocodile, is a genus of large carnivores. Oh, and I don't know how to say that genus. That grew to over 23 feet long. So that's 20. Where was the little shadow guy? Right, that don't look like no 23 feet to me in that particular picture. But that's a big one, right? Bigger than your average iguana, that's for sure. So let's see. A little bit about what made this guy the apex predator. Okay, Saurosuchus didn't have legs that were that strong, right? You can see it. Teeny little baby chicken legs over here, you know. Don't say that to him, but little chicken legs. So it would have to have been restricted to a pace that was around the same as a human's. It would have been able to accelerate for only a short amount of time due to its weight. That's kind of like, you kind of see that with alligators, I guess. I don't know if you see that with crocodiles, but you see in them videos of alligators when they really want to get at your ass, you really fuck with them. Florida man down there, bonking them on the snout, and they get a little pissed. They got a moment there or it'll make you shit your drawers because they can go fast, but not for very long, you know. And then the rest of the time, they kind of just super slow because they weigh a lot, you know. So kind of like that. You could probably outrun one of these guys, maybe, according to these people, you know. I still want to test it, but according to Dinopedia fandom, you can maybe outrun one of these guys, right? Cold-bloodedness and having legs that were not good at running. This would have enabled it to grow to bigger sizes. However, because animals that don't need to move fast do not need to be light and fragile like cheetahs. The slow-paced lifestyle would have allowed it to get weighted body parts and limbs, so it might not have been fast, but it would have been sturdy, right? You ain't tackling this bitch anytime soon. The Saurosuchus' massive neck supported a head that would have been very similar to a scaled-down T-Rex. So let's look at that again. Scaled-down T-Rex. Sure, you can definitely see it right there, right? I mean, that's, you know, not the best. Here we go. Yeah, it's like a little T-Rex head. Take a crocodile and put a fucking T-Rex head on it and see if that don't make people shit themselves. So, this would have given it a tremendous bite force that would have been comparable to today's big biters like alligators. Its tail was long, sturdy, and weighted, which might have supported it when it reared up to face rivals or deliver a killing blow to its prey. It had rows of osteoderms running down its back from its head to the very tip of its tail. I guess that's the cool ass little spikes. Need to get me a pair of those. Pretty stylish, pretty dupe. Where's your osteoderms, man? There they are. Those are some sexy osteoderms right there. All right. And rows of osteoderms, yada, yada, yada. Saurosuchus had a laterally compressed skull and large conical teeth. And let's talk about them teeth. Let's talk more about them. Saurosuchus' only enemies would have been others of its species. So, like I said, apex predator, right? That's the name of the stream. I looked into this. Doesn't seem general consensus isn't there ain't much that could have fucked this guy up. And where was this guy again? Let's see. It told us up here. I just didn't bother to give a shit. I got excited. I saw giant gator and I was like, ooh, and I got excited. That's what happened. But it was sometime in the Triassic, I believe, somewhere around there. But oh, so I already closed our little thing here. So Triassic before you had T Rexes, right? So that's why this guy is the apex predator of his time because he came around before. This was probably like the level 1 T Rex, right? This is like the starter Pokemon, and then once his ass evolves, boom, T Rex is what you get. A couple million years later. It's a long process. So yeah, large bite force. Its only enemies would have been its other species. It might have engaged in combat similar to today's large carnivores like bears, lions, and crocodiles. I always wonder how they know that. Like, they're like, yeah, well, it probably would have been just like a bear. I was like, okay, Mr. Science Guy, I guess. It fought like a bear, you know? I mean, and hey, who's going to question that, right? Like, how many of us have seen a bear fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you're going to be like, no, it's not how bears fought when I used to fight them. Seeing as it had small limbs and could not rear up for very long, it would have primarily used its massive jaws to fight other predators. Well, okay, I mean, science guys probably got that right, but I could have probably told you that. So, let's see. Or other members of its own species. This would not have resulted in death since it was protected by its armor, and most modern carnivores do not fight to the death, including its close relatives, the crocodilians. I have seen some really disturbing videos. I don't know about disturbing, but you ever seen that video where the crocodigator grabs the other crocodigator's arm and twists that shit and death rolls his arm right off, and the other crocodigator's just like, don't even give a fuck. He's like, whatever, bro. Yeah, I got 3 more. And its lifespan was probably pretty long because it was cold-blooded and didn't have a lot of competition in the area, right? Not too many people were fucking with this guy. And aside from that, that's about all they know. They got some skeletons on this dude. But yeah, so there's the Saurosuchus, right? This is one of the first apex predators, supposedly one of, okay, not the only or the big, the only big dog in there, but one of the very first apex predators that existed at the beginning of the Jurassic period, right? And I love watching seeing these renditions of it because they're all roughly the same, but they can get pretty different from each other, and people take some creative liberties with it. And you got to wonder just how close they actually got to it, yeah. But big boy, okay. So apex predator number 1, we have the Saurosuchus. And we're going to keep a running tally, just like we did last Apex Predator stream. Who I think would win, who would be the big dog that would win. If you're watching this on YouTube or live, leave in the comment section who you think would win, okay? So here's the first challenger to the Saurosuchus. Let's go ahead and back that up. Let's put up what's our best rendition of a Saurosuchus here. The biggest, meanest looking Saurosuchus. I mean, I like that guy. That guy's kind of cute, though. He's a little endearing, like I could see him in a kid's cartoon. Let's see. Oh, there we go. This guy looks scurry, right? Let's stick with that. Let's go with this guy, okay? Until further notice, this is our mascot for the Saurosuchus. We're going to move on to his number 1 contender, or well, his only contender as of right now, the Proterosuchus. I got noises I need to shit all up in my grill. Had to do that thing. So the Proterosuchus is an extinct genus of aquatic Archosauriform, a reptile known from the Jurassic of southern Africa and China. So the Proterosuchus was a crocodile-like creature about 40 meters long and may have been an ancestor of that group. It probably hunted in the same manner as modern crocodiles, attacking prey on the water side. Its upper jaw arched down at the front, and it had teeth well suited for catching fish. It also had teeth on its palate, a primitive feature lost in later archosaurs. So let's see, let's look. Ooh, there we go. So, I mean, that makes him look like a bit of a pussy. Like, that looks like your typical iguano right there. Let's Okay, all right, a little bit better. Kind of make them look a little skinny, but here you go. Now you can see how close that relates to an alligator, right? If you can see that. But yeah, they notice the snout dips down a little bit, and then supposedly they had teeth like on their actual palate, which is crazy. Yeah, goofy looking shit though. Look at that face. That's a goofy looking face. I don't know. Okay, that's not the same thing. Yeah. So this is definitely one of. Oh, is this our? Nope, that's not the our first guy. But yeah, this is another variation. Surprise, surprise, right? A lot of the first apex predators that appeared after the very first mass extinction event that ended the Paleozoic era tend to be alligator-like, crocodile-like monsters. We're not going to get any other pictures out of this guy. So, not there anyways. Let's look at this one. So, very crocodile, very lizard-like, right? Similar to the Saurosuchus. Got that. How big was this guy, though? They didn't say, did they? About 4 meters long. Oh, wow. So, pretty small. Okay, this guy is small. Okay, because we're looking at, let's see, what was this? This dude right here is 1.8 meters. Oh, no. No, so these are in meters, so 4 meters long. Okay. And what is meters in feet? Fuck shit. Dang American schools. They teach us a way to measure that nobody else in the world uses, and they don't even teach us how to convert. 8.8 meters in feet. I mean, I guess that's what we got Google for. So 6 feet. Okay, 6 feet. So 4 meters would be roughly 12 feet long, a little over 13 feet. Okay, so 13 feet. That's still, I don't know if that holds a candle to our Saurosuchus. Remember, Saurosuchus was 23 feet long. This bad guy, 23 feet long, right? I don't know. It does seem like Proterosuchus was more aquatic. Again, they said he had a mouth good for eating fish, right? This boy, you know, he didn't run nothing down because he was kind of a fat ass. Remember, he had them little chicken legs, yeah. But he did live mostly on land and did take down prey bigger than himself. He was kind of like a truck, right? But hold on a second. We do have Proterosuchus video here from the Trilogy of Life, or the channel. Let's hop over the YouTube screen. Riamus is the name of this channel, and I have never heard of it or been here. But if they have some dope ass content, which I actually think this, I don't know, we'll see. Let's go ahead and watch this. The Walking with Monsters. If they have some dope ass content, we'll leave them a like and give them a subscribe. Decent sized channel, like 350,000 followers. That's more than I got. But yeah, so let's see what they have to say about the Proterosuchus, and maybe they can convince us that the Proterosuchus might have a standing chance against that Saurosuchus. Let's take a look.
They need to cross a river, but its banks are lined with open jaws. Chasmatosaurs are the earliest ancestors of crocodiles and alligators. Their strange overbite means once they get their teeth into a victim, there is no chance of escape.
Oh yeah, probably good to mention here. They just mentioned a different name right there. If we go down here, Proterosuchus and Chasmatosaurus turned out to be the same animal. So due to the rules of biological nomenclature, Chasmatosaurus has been renamed to Proterosuchus. Okay, so these are Proterosuchus, even though the Discovery Channel here done fucked it up, named it something else. They were wrong.
They don't normally gather in such numbers, but they're here for a special event, the annual migration of the Lystrosaurus.
I mean, that's a pretty spooky ass face. You wouldn't want to wake up and see that in your bed.
If you're a Euparkeria, the river's not a great place for hunting insects, but he has speed on his side.
Oh, little guy, better be fast. Oh! Little dude, what are you doing? Crazy little shit.
As the sun rises, the chasmatosaurs are drawn towards the water. Some of them haven't eaten since the Lystrosaurus last passed this way a year ago. Now they sense it's time to feed again.
Only eat once a year. I don't know how they know that, but let's take their word for it.
But now the predators are homing in.
Shit, what do they get? Whatever that is. Well, whatever that was, they got it. You know, I don't know if I'm convinced, though. That does not convince me that those Proterosuckuses could have fucked up our Saurosuchus. I don't know if I'm convinced by that. Unless that Saurosuchus came close to the water, right? Hopped in when there was a handful of those boys and then got fucked up. I could see that. That makes sense. But by itself, I think this guy, one-on-one, he does a bit. He bodies him. Saurosuchus gets it. So I'm giving up to Saurosuchus. We'll keep him on the back burner. Let's put him in number 2 for now. And neither one of these guys are going to hopefully ever run into this dude. If they do on his home turf, then they're probably fucked. This is the Ichthyosaurus. Number 3 on our list of badasses from the Mesozoic era is the Ichthyosaurus. This is technically means any member of an extinct group of reptiles, most of which were similar to porpoises in appearance and habits. I mean, he looks pretty peaceful. Well, he gets bigger, and that eyeball is really unsettling. Those tiny teeth ain't exactly cool neither, dog. Get him over here. So, the Ichthyosaurus, kind of like porpoises, I guess, it has a very wide geographical distribution. Fossils were found spread almost the entire Mesozoic era, but they were most abundant and diverse during the Triassic and Jurassic. So again, this is one of the early apex predators of the Mesozoic era, right? And if you couldn't tell, he's got the flippers. You know, the flippers are endearing. The eyeball is unsettling. It's a little disturbing. Tiny teeth, also not so friendly looking, but cute ass flippers, bro. Super cute flippers. Obviously, super cute flippers means ocean guy, right? So, our Saurosuchus and number 2 in the rankings right now, Proterosuchus, probably, hopefully, for their sake, aren't going to be running too much into this guy. If they do run into him on his turf, then Ichthyosaurus probably going to fuck him up. But I don't know. Let's see. Let's learn a little bit more about it. So, they got, fossils. We don't need to learn about the fossils. We're just here to see who can fuck up who, right? That's what I want to know. So, a representative genus of a larger group. Nope, that's not the one that I needed. The paragraph. Ichthyosaurus are first known from the Triassic period, mostly in Asia. So, that is in this guy's territory, right? Proterosuchus is in Asia too. So, maybe they did get in a few fights. This is where they began long-bodied, undulating swimmers without many of the specializations seen in later species. By the late Jurassic, some lineages have achieved a great size. Fossils from the western U.S. and Canada indicate that some Ichthyosaurus could exceed 43 feet in length. So that's a big dog. He's twice the size of these dudes. He makes these dudes look like little fucking baby shits, right? You're nothing compared to that guy. This dude is huge, big boy. Deep bodied with long fins, these appear to have been ambush predators that fed on mostly fishes. Oh, well, that's probably a relief to our Proterosuchus here. The typical ichthyosaurus form was fully realized by the early Jurassic, when the tuna like body plan, suggestive of high speed pursuit and great mobility, asserted itself. By this time, however, the other lineages of ichthyosaurs had become extinct. Ichthyosaurs persisted into the late Cretaceous times and may have been well adapted for deep diving as well as nearshore predation, but all species became extinct well before the end of the Cretaceous period. So, sounds like these guys, again, we had, and I think I already took it out. Yeah, bummer. The asteroid hit at the end of the Mesozoic era, hits Earth. What did they say it was? Like 6 miles long? An asteroid 6 miles long, which doesn't seem like a lot compared to planet Earth, but when that fucker's like hurtling through space, right? You know, imagine somebody taking like something very small and making it very fast and then shooting it at you somehow. You know, what would that do? Well, we know that's a bullet. It fucking kills you, right? So that tended to be what happened when an asteroid hit Earth, right? This guy survived, though, because he was able, well, he was in the ocean, I suppose, maybe. That might be why he survived. But it sounds like he did. So, Ichthyosaurus. Let's learn a little bit more about this guy. I have a video on him, too. This is from a smaller channel. Got to do a shout out for the small creators out there, right? This is the Dinosaur Channel. I already like the name. Already like this guy. I like his hat, his glasses. He seems friendly. Let's see what he has to say about the Ichthyosaurus. And also, let's see if I'm actually saying it right. I'm pretty sure it's how you say it. I don't know. I've heard of the Ichthyosaurus because it's in my Jurassic World game, right? So that's where I heard of it. But let's check it out.
Channel. This is your home on the internet for all things dinosaur and prehistoric. I'm your host, Tall, and today we're going to be talking about a prehistoric marine reptile known as the Ichthyosaurus.
Ha! I did get it right. I knew what I was saying. I know what I'm doing. See, don't need nobody to tell me nothing.
But before we jump into everything that you need to know about the Ichthyosaurus, I want to remind you guys to subscribe, turn on the notifications, and don't forget to leave us a dino-sized thumbs up and comment down below a dinosaur or prehistoric creature you would like to see us cover in the future. We're covering
Nice. I already like this channel. Subscribe to this motherfucker. I like his energy. It's a little bit much for me. I'm not a very energetic guy. Not that energetic. You know, I like dinosaurs, not that much, but I like his energy. I appreciate it. He's super excited to be talking about these dinosaurs, man. So, and I don't blame him.
Every single dinosaur and prehistoric creature in the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World franchise, so you don't want to miss a single quick dive on any of those. With that being said, let's jump into everything you need to know about the Ichthyosaurus.
They really do look like tunas, right? I'm pretty sure this footage here is from a Jurassic World game or something similar. I have a Jurassic World game. That's where I hear the Ichthyosaurus, because I have an Ichthyosaurus that I use to fight other sharks and shit, and I beat the fuck out of him with it. Dude's pretty big, pretty badass in that game.
So what does the Ichthyosaurus mean? It means fish lizard. So basically, a lizard that looked like a fish. I think personally they look more like a dolphin, but that's debatable. Dolphins are not fish.
Dolphin. Yeah. Okay. It does look like a dolphin. He's right. Totally called that. I was going to say tuna, but dolphin.
They're mammals. Again, Ichthyosaurus was not a dinosaur, but a marine reptile. There's a difference. So when and where did this ancient swimmer live? The Ichthyosaurus existed approximately 200 million to 190 million years ago, during the late Triassic and early Jurassic periods. It's hard to pinpoint exactly where this animal lived because it was a marine reptile. It roamed around the ancient oceans and seas, but fossils of the Ichthyosaurus have been found in England, Belgium.
Look at that. That's a big boy. Remember, 43 feet long. So that must have been a little baby. That was a little teeny tiny guy.
England, Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, Portugal, Greenland, Canada, and even as far as Indonesia. But once again, since it could swim, it could have potentially gone around the world, and probably did. So what did this creature look like? The Ichthyosaurus was a small variety of ichthyosaur, only reaching about 6.6 feet or 2 meters in length. On average, it was estimated to have weighed around 200 pounds, or 91 kilograms. The largest specimen was roughly 11 feet, or 3.3 meters long. Well, it pretty much looked like a cross between a dolphin and a tuna fish. The Ichthyosaurus had a long jaw with serrated teeth like a saw. It had large eye sockets, and the nostrils.
Yeah, those eyes are creepy. That's the creepiest thing, right? The long snout, it's kind of cute until he smiles. You know, he smiles and it gets disturbing. But that eyeball, man, fuck that. Ooh.
Were placed very, very close to each other. It also had large inner ear bones, which indicated that the Ichthyosaurus had acute or highly sensitive sensory organs. The Ichthyosaurus's body was very streamlined. It had no distinct neck, and it's sort of like smoothly blended all the way through the body, the neck, the face, all that stuff. The limbs looked more like paddles or wide flippers. It had a prominent dorsal fin and a caudal fin or a tail fin. It can be distinguished from other ichthyosaurs because it had 5 or more digits on each forefin. So why was the Ichthyosaurus's appearance very similar to modern day marine vertebrates such as dolphins, sharks, and others? And convergent evolution is one of my favorite topics to cover on this channel because it's such a cool phenomenon that happens in nature. Convergent evolution is a tendency for two otherwise dissimilar or unrelated creatures completely inhabiting the same ecological niches to evolve the same general features. Like this, marine reptiles' appearances is a result of the fact that basic fish structure is the most streamlined and efficient way to exist in the ocean. So again, the Ichthyosaurus was not a fish nor a dinosaur. This animal was actually a marine reptile, which was extremely well adapted to the ocean. Now, did the Ichthyosaurus...
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, learn something new every day. What did he call that? What was that? Something evolution? It was...
It's such a cool phenomenon that happens in nature. Convergent evolution is a tendency for two otherwise dissimilar...
That's pretty cool. Okay. Learn something new every day.
Actually a marine reptile, which was extremely well adapted to the ocean. Now, did the Ichthyosaurus ever get famous? Is it well known for anything? Well, we can't say for sure that it really got famous, but probably whenever you would hear prehistoric fish or aquatic dinosaur, you would probably imagine the Ichthyosaurus alongside the Mosasaurus and Plesiosaurus. It's probably one of the more well-known prehistoric dinosaur fish. But again...
Yeah. So, that was definitely when in my research here over back at Britannica, this guy was an apex predator, at least in the Jurassic period, right? We'll get a little bit deeper into the Mesozoic era where this guy kind of falls off the top of the list, off the top of the food chain, right? It happens to the best of us. But this dude, at least at the beginning of the Jurassic, was the beast of the ocean. And that's back when he was relatively small. You know, when it came to the Jurassic period, came through it, the Jurassic period, it was only about 10 feet long, right? And then starts growing bigger and bigger. And like they said, by the end of the Mesozoic era, he's 43 feet long. Okay, also got to remember, by that time, there was much bigger shit in the ocean. So that's important to note too. But anyways, yeah, let's continue.
Again, this is not a dinosaur, it is a marine reptile, remember that. Well, there's a couple of children's books that are completely dedicated to the Ichthyosaurus, as well as some toys. This creature was also a character named Igor on the PBS Kids TV series Dinosaur Train. It appeared as...
Dinosaur Train, I don't remember that. Yeah, that version was much cuter, right? They definitely did a number on the eyes to make him less fucking psychotic, right? But anyways, I'm not going to finish this guy's video. You can go ahead and watch the rest of that on his channel. I definitely subscribed. Give it a like. How long has this guy been around? That was about 2 years ago. The Dinosaur Channel. Plain, simple, easy. Can't fuck that one up. When was the last time he posted? 5 months ago. Okay, alright. Well, hopefully he's still around making videos, because that's some pretty entertaining. Oh, yeah, he's around and he grew a beard. Good for him. Okay, so yeah, head over to the Dinosaur Channel. Show that guy some love. If you're watching this on YouTube, then chances are you like dinosaurs, right? You wouldn't have stuck around for 40 minutes if you didn't like dinosaurs, right? I mean, I'm pretty, I'm a pretty handsome dude, you know. Just saying, definitely more handsome than that ichthyosaurus, right? But you probably stuck around for him. You know what I'm saying? So if you like dinosaurs, check this channel out. Give them a like and subscribe because they got some pretty cool videos. That video is nice. At the very least, he's got that energy going for him, right? He's definitely got content creator energy. So back to our list. We now have 3 contenders for the badass of the Mesozoic era, top badass, the ichthyosaur or the ichthyosaurus, the Saurosuchus, and the Proterosuchus. Okay. And Proterosuchus going to continue taking up the back end of that, right? We're talking 13-foot alligator sort of thing. Still spooky. He'd fuck you up in a fist fight. We're just going to say that, right? You don't want to wrestle with that dude. But this guy over here, biggest specimen they have found, 23 feet long, much bigger dude, much more liable to come find your ass online and eat your ass. You can get away from the Proterosuchuses. You might be able to outrun this dude, but you wouldn't want to give it a shot. The Ichthyosaurus, much bigger, at least at the ends of the Mesozoic era, which these guys weren't there for. These guys were the Triassic period, right? They weren't in the towards the end of the Mesozoic era, which was I just had it and then I lost it, the Cretaceous period, right? So they weren't. Oh no, the Cretaceous period is that, or is that at the end? See, I just need to pull my image back up so I know what the fuck I'm talking about, or at least I can seem like it more. I did Cretaceous period. See, I need to trust myself more often. I know what I'm talking about, even when I don't know it. So, the Cretaceous period, we had the ichthyosaur well into the Cretaceous period, but that was when he was his biggest, right around this time right here. When he was in the Triassic period, he was still only 10 feet long. So, to be honest, like, if he was in the Triassic period and met up with the Proterosuchus, which did tend to hunt in the water, at least they say, this guy might have had the jump on him as far as size goes, right? Ichthyosaurus also just tended to eat fish, but we're talking about Ichthyosaurus in his final form, Ichthyosaurus, right? Golden Frieza, Ichthyosaurus in the Cretaceous period, takes out everything. Any of these two dudes hopped in the ocean around that time, they stay the fuck out of that dude's way. This guy could have easily gotten eaten. 13 feet versus 43 feet. This guy had some problems, right? So for me, top hunter here, I'm still going to say the Saurosuchus, man. Because, he ain't going in the water anytime soon to fuck with that Ichthyosaurus. And when he was around, the Ichthyosaurus wouldn't be evolving legs to come chill with him on land anytime soon either, right? Because he was a nasty customer. And for his time, the Ichthyosaurus probably would have gotten his ass kicked by the Proterosuchus. It was much later that he wouldn't have. So I'm going to put him at number 2. Number 1 is still the Saurosuchus. He's still the numero uno badass of the Mesozoic era so far, right? But we're going to got to keep going, right? We got a few more people to go. Our next one, or a few more dinosaurs to go. The next one is the Allosaurus. So the Allosaurus was a theropod in the late Jurassic. So that puts him past the point of our first 2 entries onto the list. Late Jurassic, kind of in this area right here, right? So past the point of our first 2 entries. Still around for the Ichthyosaurus, but not those first 2, right? It was a predator with a massive skull, serrated teeth, and gaping jaws. Well, that's no good. I mean, that's the kind of shit you need for apex predator life, right? He's about that gangster life, this dude. Allosaurus had brow horns, which appear to have varied somewhat in shape between individuals. The powerful and plentiful carnivore genus could grow to almost 39 feet long. Okay, so gosh, With how much I cough, you would think I would just have like a pipe sitting here and I was just toking on the ganj, but not even a little bit. So I get all the coughs with none of the benefits. This guy was 39 feet long, not the biggest we've seen, but now he's a land dude. Obviously, that boy ain't swimming around anywhere with them little tiny ass arms right there. He's not swimming any better than I am with my tiny ass arms. He's a land dude, and he's probably fucking this boy up. This guy was, what was it, 23 feet was the biggest specimen? 39 feet, biggest specimen. So, bigger dude. The abundance of Allosaurus skeletons has provided scientists with evidence to propose behavior. Allosaurus may have used hunting strategies such as flesh grazing. Ooh, that sounds lovely. Yeah, flesh grazing, pack hunting, and ambush attacks that utilize trachea crushing bites. It likely grasped its meal with its legs and mouth and pulled its meal apart. Its usual gaping jaw has spurred debate regarding Allosaurus using its head like a hatchet to attack and slice at prey. A hatchet. Got a hatchet head. There's also taxonomic controversy regarding what species belong to Allosaurus. So, in Greek, Allosaurus means different lizard, because he was kind of a goofball. He is a little bit of a dork. Allosaurus could grow 39 feet long, maybe even longer. The Allosaurus was a carnosaurian theropod, not a tyrannosauropod, which is different for some reason. Allosaurus is more commonly found in North America, Portugal, and Tanzania. Allosaurus was an apex predator. Of course he is. That's why he's on my video, bruh. Debate continues regarding how it may have killed much larger prey, but it sounds like it was a possibility. The social behavior of the Allosaurus is unclear. Fossils reveal a life of physical trauma. Sure, he with horns like that, only a mother can love that face, right? So he probably had a trauma-filled life. Allosaurus fossils are the most abundant of the large predators in the Morrison Formation. So for his time period, one of the most abundant animals that existed, particularly one of the most abundant predators that existed. So again, top of the food chain, right? Allosaurus was designated as the state fossil of Utah. Oh, okay. I didn't even know a state fossil was a thing, but they got state flowers, state birds, state this, that, the other thing, state serial killers. Nowadays they have a state everything, right? So here, let's look at a little bit of the behavior. That was an interesting part of this. This was we're not going to go through all of this, it was pretty long. A lot of written about the Allosaurus. But we're going to center on y'all. And then I do have a nice little video to show you about the Allosaurus. So we're going to read this. The Allosaurus is proposed to have had cooperative social behavior, such as hunting in packs. However, there is scant evidence to support this idea. Some scientists explain that groups of Allosaur fossils are together because of aggressive behavior. I don't see how that sentence makes sense. Like, oh, they were together because they were aggressive. What? Or that individuals are eating the same kill. Baker suggests that adults may have brought food to their young. While pack hunting and gregarious behavior have been suggested, injured grostralia and bites to the skull suggest that interactions among Allosaurs were antagonistic. So, might have bitten the fuck out of each other, might not have been very friendly, They're pretty upset about that ugly face and all that childhood trauma. They're like, fuck you, man. Gonna bite you right, just like that. So they had a temper. Arguments against cooperative behavior assert that vertebrates rarely cooperatively hunt to bring down very large prey, and that animals like crocodiles and birds do not typically hunt in such a manner. I lost my place. In fact, such animals typically cannibalize and attack smaller members of their species when they are gathered to feed. They're talking about modern animals, by the way, but they're just saying, like, hey, this is his distant relative. This is how they act. There's a reason to assume they're kind of the same, right? Fossil Allosaurs at the Cleveland Lloyd Quarry and at feeding sites studied by Baker reveal a high number of juvenile and subadult deaths. This proportion is also observed among crocodiles and Komodo dragons. There is fossil evidence suggesting that Allosaurs cannibalized each other. Tendon avulsions of the forelimbs suggest injuries to Allosaurs occurred while they held struggling prey. Injuries to the feet occurred not from running, but likely from grasping struggling animals with their feet. Such injuries suggest a diet based on active predation. Man, that's so crazy how they make those connections. Sometimes they make the connection and I'm like, yeah, that sounds crazy because it is crazy. Other times they make it and I'm like, ooh, that sounds pretty fucking smart. You know, I'm going to go to this guy. He sounds like he knows what's up. And okay, yeah, there was the feeding, talking about anatomy. There was some size here. Skull length of 33 inches for a total 26-foot long Allosaurus was discovered. 14 to 17 feet, that's called the premaxilla, was the name of this skeleton. And let's see, unique traits. Allosaurus had extensions on its lacimal bones, which formed a brow horn over each eye. So they had little shits like that, right? And these horns varied somewhat in shape and size. Low ridges extended from them along nasal bones. Some theories on the purpose of these horns include display, weapons for combat, and possibly as effective sunshades, so built-in sunglasses. These guys are just all kind of cool. The apex predator running around just killing shit, and they got sunglasses. These horns, likely covered in keratin, are believed to have been fragile. Like some tyrannosaurids, the skull roof contained a ridge for muscle attachment. Unlike the leg bones, the skulls grew in an isometric manner. Proportions were maintained as the animal got bigger. Ah, interesting. So there you have it. This is kind of like a smaller T-Rex. He is definitely smaller than your T-Rex. You can look at this picture of the bones right there. You know, that's much bigger than much smaller than any T-Rex you're going to find. That one, I don't know how long that one is, obviously, but that's in San Diego. But anyways, smaller version of the T-Rex with horns, which is pretty cool, right? So let's go over to YouTube. Pop y'all. Boom. And let's see how this fucker hunted. Let's check it out.
Allosaurus is the most common killer in these lands. 9 meters long, with a battery of saw blade-like teeth and powerful clawed forearms.
There's little horns. Yeah. Kind of cute, those little baby horns. You know? I'm looking at that, I'm like, I don't know how you'd fight with those, though. They look badass, they're dope, but they're kind of like hot rod flames, right? They don't really add anything, they just look cool.
Allosaurus is a formidable hunter.
Oh,
it shares the
dude is
plains
fucked.
with dozens of species of plant-eating dinosaurs.
Oh, get out of there, dude. Run, we gonna kill you.
A lone Camptosaurus, away from the protection of Stegosaurus, should be easy pickings for a hunting Allosaurus.
I don't know, let's see. Think he's gonna get him. It's one of his teeth.
Were serrated front and back, perfectly evolved for tearing through flesh.
That's pretty interesting.
However, recent research has indicated that Allosaurus' bite was surprisingly weak.
Oh, ooh, see? That's important information for us. If we're going to judge him against these other big dogs, he's got a weak-ass bite. Weak bite. Weak sauce, baby. Okay, let's see.
Suggested its bite was less powerful than a lion's, despite being 7 times more massive.
Damn, weak jaw, this guy. Okay.
So just how did this Jurassic monster hunt and kill?
Yeah, that's what we want to know. Behind you! Behind you! Oh!
The answer is with an element of
that kind of spooked me. I kind of freaked myself out there. I was like, oh shit! Hid behind my microphone. Oh, poor goofy ass looking dude. About to get eaten.
Camptosaurus relies on its keen senses to avoid predators.
Oh. Get out of there.
Allosaurus, on the
Keen senses or not, if you're sticking around after that, you know, keen senses don't make up for stupidity.
other hand, is a fast and powerful ambush hunter, faster than Camptosaurus.
Man, the tension is palpable. Our boy Campo here. Run, Campo. Get out of there. I knew it. He's gonna come up behind him. Yep. Get him fucked up. It's behind you. I called that shit. Bam. And still missed. What's this dude's deal?
A 1.5-ton killer can't run fast for long.
Oh, okay. See, he can't keep that speed up. Little Campo, look at him go. Them little
It's
legs
a
just.
question of speed versus stamina.
Wow, look at him go. He's got them bird-ass legs. Oh. Hit him with that horn. Oh, gosh. Over and over again, man. This is violent. Campo. Should have got out of there when I told you. That's some money shot. He's done.
Despite the apparent weakness of its bite, Allosaurus did in fact have a deadly killing method. Its skull could withstand a force more than 15 times as great as its bite.
Oh, shit.
This meant that Allosaurus used its head like an axe, its strong neck muscles driving its top jaw into its prey. With every impact, the serrated teeth would tear through its prey's flesh, the victim dying through a combination of shock and blood loss. It isn't pretty, it isn't clinical, but it's ruthlessly efficient.
Okay, they sold me on that. Look at that. Give them a like, BBC. That was some good stuff. Okay, so let's pop back over meow. That gives us some good info for how to size this boy up compared to our Saurosuchus, Ichthyosaurus, and Proterosuchus, right? So Proterosuchus, 13 feet versus 39 feet. He's out, right? Unless his little ass can slither to the water, he's dead. He's out of it. He's not going nowhere. Where are you going? Nowhere. Okay, so he's gone. Ichthyosaurus, right? That's a tough one because he's in the water. Hard to compare. This ain't Pokemon, right? Can't take them out of the water and battle their asses. 43 feet at the end of the Cenozoic, or the Cretaceous period, excuse me. So at his biggest, you know, he was about the same size, honestly, as this guy, right? But he's in the water. So, you know, and as far as they're aware, everything I've read, everything we saw and looked at, you know, this freaky little psycho dolphin is kind of what he looks like, right? Like a dolphin with some bipolar disorder thrown in there. So this dude, you know, mostly ate fish, right? He's not killing anything big in the ocean, right? I think Allosaurus takes the cake for a more badass apex predator, right? He's got horns. You know, he's got horns. Ichthyosaurus, he's got them crazy ass eyeballs. Like, he's got that crazy psycho stare. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Allosaurus here, he's got them horns. He's got them little horns. He's got waves his head around like an axe. You know, I'm giving it to him. And then when it comes to the Saurosuchus, he's out. He's done. He's not going nowhere. He's more fucked in this situation than even Proterosuchus is, right? Because Proterosuchus can go run his little ass into the water and swim away. Saurosuchus, he ain't a swimmer. He's got them little chicken legs, little baby chicken legs. He's like Tony, doggy paddling in the water. He ain't going nowhere. He's only going to go for so long, then he sinks. So he can't go in the water. He can't outrun the Allosaurus because he can only go fast for a really short period of time. Then he's out too, you know? So I think Allosaurus, man, he's number one. He's numero uno on our list, right? And you know what? I think I'm swapping Ichthyosaurus and Saurosuchus. You know, I was sold on the Saurosuchus because of the crocodile head. That's a pretty mean head, you know? But those eyes, man, those fucking little psycho ass dolphin eyes. It's not letting me click on it anymore. Oh, that's why. Yeah, look at those psycho ass eyes, man. That's a crazy motherfucker. That dude will rob you in a dark alleyway, right? So let's move on to our next one, number 5 on our list of. I never do odd number or even numbers. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, I told you, I just do funky ass numbers all the time. I don't know why. So we're on number 5 of 9 apex predators of the Mesozoic area, coming in with another water. I almost said Pokemon. Another water Pokemon, Liopleurodon. So Liopleurodon meaning smooth-sided teeth. Not very creative there, is a genus of large carnivorous marine reptile belonging to the Pliosaurid, belonging to the Pliosauruses, a clade of the short-necked Plesiosaurus. 2 species of Liopleurodon, L. ferox and L. pachi, lived during the Calovian stage of the Middle Jurassic period, while the third, L. rossicus, lived during the Late Jurassic. It was an apex predator of the Middle to Late Jurassic seas that covered Europe. All right, so Middle to Late Jurassic. So in the same time frame as our Allosaurus, but he's in the ocean. And notice it said apex predator. Remember, Ichthyosaurus here didn't get real big until the Cretaceous, and by that point, he was no longer the top of the food chain. He was only the top of the food chain in the Jurassic. Once it got to the Jurassic, remember, he was out. And Liopleurodon is the reason for that, right? Okay, so discovery and species, yeah, I give a fuck about all that. Let's see. Let's look up a couple dope pictures of this guy. Yeah, he's a pretty spooky looking dude. Look at that. And let's take a look here for size reference. There's you just swimming along. You're 6 foot tall ass, just swimming, just swimming, probably around Hawaii. Yeah. And then this mouth, that's half the size of your whole fucking body, just comes out. Boom. You're done. Look at them teeth, man. Look at those gnarly ass teeth. Nothing cute about this guy whatsoever. You know, at least the Ichthyosaurus kind of had the dolphin thing going for him. I mean, he looks like a fucking serial killer of the dolphins, but this dude, nothing cute about him. Nothing at all. He's just a big ass mouth with teeth and a couple flippers behind it, right? Let's look at this. So, the largest known Liopleurodon skull, okay, belongs to La Ferox. It measures 7 meters, but the largest specimens measure a little over 10 meters and was originally estimated to belong to an animal about 25 meters or 80 feet long. Whew. Later work cast doubt on that model, though. Hold on a second. Hold on. Getting a little too big for his britches. Used to estimate the length of the Liopleurodon. They doubt the model, which had been based on a 5-meter skull length to body length ratio found in the famous Kronosaurus skeleton mounted at Harvard's Museum of Comparative Zoology. Analysis of 2 mostly complete adult Pharaoh skeletons showed that the ratio of skull length to body length was more in the range of 1.9 or even 1.8, leading No to estimate that the Tarlos La Ferox was only about 75 feet long. So 5 feet less. Okay. So, yeah. Makes absolutely no difference. I'm sure it does to, the experts are like, hold on, 5 feet is a lot, shit. Talk to any guy, he would tell you 5 feet, I would kill for an extra 5 feet. Maybe not an extra 5 feet. That's too much. But when you're this difference between 75 and 80 feet long, when we're talking about apex predators here, man, doesn't make a big difference, right? With a corresponding weight of 2.75 tons. Ooh. Okay. The original reconstruction of Harvard's Chronosaurus is now known to have included too many vertebrae. Oh, look at that. Okay, that's interesting. The mandible on display at the Oxford University Museum of Natural History, estimated to be over 3 meters and, and to have come from a skull perhaps 3.6 meters in length. Okay, remember, 6 foot tall, human being, 1.8 meters. Just his jaw is 3.6 meters. Or skull, excuse me. Skull is 3 points, so his head is bigger than you are. That's scary. Was at one time classified as Liopleurodon, yada yada, the genus Stratosaurus. Okay. Oh, it was originally assigned to the Stratosaurus, and now that's known as a Liopleurodon. Okay. Oh, so now it's called a Pliosaurus. So they just don't know what the fuck this mandible at Oxford was. It's just been like 5 different things. They're just winging it. Somebody over there is just like, fuck it, call it this. And they're like, but it isn't that. And he's like, okay, call it this. And they're like, it's not that neither. He's like, Jesus, just call it that. Quit bothering me. The Liopleurodon, depicted in the 1999 BBC television series Walking with Dinosaurs, an enormous 25-meter long or 80-foot monster weighing up to 150 tons, is considered to be based on a reasonable estimate of its maximum size. In fairness to the program's producers, it should be noted that the 3-meter mandible of the Oxford Pliosaurus at the time of the series classified as belonging to a Liopleurodon. So, okay, they're just saying, hey, that's about the most it can get. It's pretty rare, though. Fossils are pretty rare. I'm not sure why that is. It doesn't say. And because Pliosauruses, like dinosaurs, did not stop growing with age, it is certainly likely that very old individuals of Liopleurodon grew to a size somewhat exceeding that of the largest known specimen, perhaps 80 feet and at 8.8 tons. This would place Liopleurodon at roughly the same size class as a modern juvenile blue whale. So even the little baby blue whales are pretty fucking big, right? 80 feet long. That's a big boy, right? Okay, so he's big. He's full of teeth, 80 feet long. He's got a real nasty attitude. Nobody with that many teeth is, a nice guy to talk to, right? So let's see. Let's look up. I think that picture we had there, that one's pretty good. Ooh, that's a good one. Kind of a creepy fucker right there. Yeah. Oh, there we go. There's a good estimate. Look at how big that mouth is compared to you. Way bigger than you. Okay, we're going with that. There's the Liopleurodon. Now, where does he go on our list? We're at 5 now, right? The Proterosuchus. Proterosuchus, 13 feet long. Liopleurodon, 80 feet long. They meet each other in the water. Proterosuchus is Owski. Do remember, Proterosuchus, Jurassic period, Liopleurodon, Jurassic. So they wouldn't have interacted, but if they did, this bad boy right here, he's fucking some shit up, right? So we got our picture here. Can we open image in new tab? Yeah, Proterosuchus, there it is. Get the name, because I'm going to forget the name before long. And the Saurosuchus, see. Oh, I like that picture. That's nice. That's kind of cute. No, that's not what I wanted. Not the link. But the image. There we go. Open image. Yeah, that's a good image. Saurosuchus doesn't have the name. So if I forget it. Oh, I got it written down. That's right. Okay. And then Ichthyosaurus. Let's look up a good picture of him, right? He needs better representation in this bitch. Oh, I gotta spell that out. Ichthyosaurus. I think I got it. I think I did it. Oh, I was close. Close enough. Look at that goofy looking fat old fish right there. I mean, he don't look too scary, comparative, right? But that's on the small side, right? Because remember, they said this guy, biggest specimen was 40 feet, right? 43 feet, I think it said. Yeah? 43 feet long at its biggest. So, ooh, that's a pretty scurry picture. Yeah. Getting rid of the whole cute little dolphin look, giving him that psycho eyeball and them big ass teeth. Yeah, let's go with this. Open image in new tab. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and then Allosaurus. We need a good picture of Ali here. Allosaurus. Let's get a good one here. Represent this guy. Mm, mm. Yeah, that's not, that's kind of good. Yeah, it's a sexy picture. Catches his good angle. I'd appreciate like a size comparison. I guess I could just write. Ooh, there's a size comparison. Um, mm, 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 mm. And they said he grows up to, what was this guy? 39 feet. 39 feet long. So, or maybe he was 40 feet long. And then the ichthyosaurus was 39 feet, something like that, right? But yeah, let's just go with this picture. This is fine for now. Everything else kind of looks, yeah, I'm good with that. Let's go with this. Give us a size comparison. So now, compared to Liopleurodon, let's pop this bad boy up here. Yeah. Okay, so Liopleurodon versus Proterosuchus. Proterosuchus is out. He is getting eaten. Same with Saurosuchus on land, obviously. He's not going in the ocean anytime soon. Different periods, but still, he's Liopleurodon shit. He's getting eaten. He goes anywhere near the ocean, that big ass mouth, taking him out. And Liopleurodon Ichthyosaurus, sorry Ichthyosaurus, he's got that psycho dolphin look, which is disturbing. You know, totally sells me that he's a bad motherfucker, but Liopleurodon's much, much bigger. 80 feet versus, what would they say, 39 feet, 40 feet, twice as big, right? And at least a quarter of this bitch is just teeth. Yeah. So he's Liopleurodon shit too. And Allosaurus. Okay, that's a tough one because land, water. This dude is kind of primo, bad motherfucker on lands, right? But this dude is badass of the ocean. You know, I'm putting him in number one. I'm putting him in number one above the Allosaurus, and then the rest are going to stay in that same. So we got Liopleurodon, Allosaurus, Ichthyosaurus, Saurosuchus, and Proterosuchus, right? Look at me, like with all these big fucking words, looking all smart and shit, right? Oh yeah, speaking of that, now we have the Rosanodrone gobe. The Rosanon drone gobe. The Rosanon drone gobe. Okay. I'm not making that up. You can't see it because my screen is in the way. Let's just change that then. The Rosanon Go Drone. Rosanon Drone Gobe. There. You see it. Right here. Rosanon Go Drobe. So let's see if I got that right as far as big words go. See, that's as soon as I brag, as soon as I feel good about something, I'm like, look at me. I can say big words and shit. And then throws that on me. Give me a second here. Checking my computer. Looking good. Okay. Just making sure everything's still streaming. All right. So let's learn a little bit about the Rosanon drone gobe. Discovery. We don't need to learn about discovery. We want to learn more about the anatomy, size. I do kind of want to know what his name comes from. Yeah. Okay. Let's go over the intro and we'll go from there, huh?
Jurassic period, many of the large animals, including most of the top predators, were distant relatives of crocodilians called pseudosuchians. At the beginning of the Jurassic period, dinosaurs became the new apex predators on land, and remained so for the entire Mesozoic era. While other, large carnivorous reptiles existed during this time, the majority were semi-aquatic or fully aquatic.
What's that? Yeah, can you tell me?
Or semi-aquatic, or fully
What does that look like? You took too long. Liopleurodon. Yeah.
aquatic. For the most part, this extended to the sole surviving clade of Pseudosuchians,
Look at that T-Rex. He's like, oh, fuck. I can't do nothing with these tiny ass arms. My bad, bruh.
Crocodiliomorpha. land crocs were generally small, and practically none were apex predators. However, there was one striking exception to this state of affairs: the fearsome but poorly known Nodosuchian Rayzan androgobe.
Rayzan androgobe. Rayzan androgobe. That is a mouthful. I don't know who the fuck named that guy. They couldn't named him Bob or Fred or something. You had to go with Razan Nandrogobe. Razan Nandrogobe. All right. All right.
Rayzan androgobe.
Well, hey, when I find my dinosaur, okay, I'm calling it Bob. I'm calling it Fred. Something easy, right? None of this Razan Nandrogobe bullshit.
Is found in the Middle Jurassic Sakahara Formation in Madagascar. Its full scientific name is Rayzan androgobe sacchalarvae.
Oh my god. They just could not stop with this motherfucker. They just threw the whole damn alphabet in there, yeah. Razananagobre. Razananadrogobe. Okay, well, aside from the name, yeah, let's go back here. So this guy, Jurassic, right, exists same time as our Lioplorodon and our Allosaurus. Okay, so both those in the Jurassic. Ichthyosaurus was in the Jurassic too, but he had fallen off the top. He's no longer apex predator. He's still walking around mean mugging people with those spooky ass psycho dolphin eyes, but nobody's taking him seriously anymore. They're like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Razananagodre. Razanandrogobe. Razanandrogobe. We're going to have to work at that one. We're going to call him Raz. Razmataz. There we go, Razmataz. That's your name. That's a way better name. He even likes it. Look at that smile on his face. He likes that better too. Razmataz. Okay, so Razmataz is in the Jurassic period, right around this time, and he's the bad boy of the Crocagator world at this point, right? By the way, also wanted to point out, name of this channel, Chimera Succus. Nice name, like it. Smaller channel, 66,000, much bigger than me, but still a small guy. Let's give him a like. I already like this style, this dude. He's talking about dinosaurs. He's a cool guy, right? So give him a like and subscribe. We're going to hop into his video a little bit because we really just want to know the good stuff. Size, anatomy, right? I do want to know where the fuck this name came from. Who the hell named this son of a bitch, right? And not entirely sure. This is, what was this? Relationships. So what his love life was about. Well, we might get interested in that. But for now, we want to know anatomy. So let's check it out.
Razana is only known from incomplete skull remains.
Razana.
However, these indicate...
That's his nickname. I do like Razmataz better, all right? But since somebody already gave him the nickname, we'll go with Razana. All right, fine. Sounds like an Italian pasta. Mine sounds like a funny cartoon character with a good vibe. You know, Razana sounds like risotto, but we'll go with Razana.
It was a massive terrestrial carnivore. Razana's skull was round, robust, and taller than wide. Its teeth were large, slightly recurved, and bore large serrations. Serrations of the size and shape
look
seen
at
in
those.
Rayzan.
Yeah. Look at those serrations. Yeah. Those are some sexy serrations.
And androgobe's teeth are ideal for crushing bone. Examination of the dental wear of Razana's teeth confirmed such a diet, showing extensive wear from biting hard objects. Overall, the feeding habits of Razana were closest to the later Tyrannosaurid dinosaurs, who were also specialized bone crunchers. Indeed, since Razana came first, one could make the argument that the Tyrannosaurids were Razana mimics. While the rest of Rayzan androgobe's body is unknown, based on its closest relatives and its sheer size, it was probably very reminiscent of its Triassic predecessors. Of course.
So, Jurassic predecessors, we got those guys, yeah. That's the Saurosuchus. He was the head honcho of the Jurassic period. And the Proterosuchus, right? Who was in the running, you know, of the Jurassic period, you know, but he was in a different part of the world, right? I think I remember correctly, he was Asia. This guy's Asian. This dude was African, right? So our guy, Razana, he is the improved version of these guys.
What made Raisin and Dragobe exceptional was its size.
Yeah, that's what we need to know. Okay, how big was this dude?
Razana is estimated to have had a length of 7 meters and a weight of
7 meters. Okay. So let's go back here. 7 meters, 4 feet is 13, right? So I'm not going to pretend like I can do that in my head. Let's just do this. 7 meters into feet, 23 feet. Okay. Comparable to our Saurosuchus. Saurosuchus, largest, got to 23 feet. Now, was that the largest Razana?
2,000 pounds, roughly as large as the largest known Jurassic crocodiliomorph, the semi-aquatic Machimosaurus hugi. However, since Razana is only known from an incomplete skull, this estimate is highly tentative.
Okay.
Regardless, Razana was certainly a large predator, and an exceptional one. No other land croc was as large throughout the
Oh, look at that cute little guy eating his grub worm. That's adorable. I want one of those.
entire
He'll be Razzmatazz. That's my Razzmatazz right there.
Mesozoic era. The only ones that came close were some basal species who lived before the dinosaurs became the top predators, and a large, bipedal crocodiliomorph from the early Cretaceous whose existence is only known from footprints.
Ooh.
Raisin and Dragobe was as large as the largest known theropods in its environment, and the other theropods from the Middle Jurassic. Therefore, it was likely one of the top carnivores in Middle Jurassic Madagascar.
Okay. So he is still an apex predator of the Jurassic period, but only in his little area of Madagascar, right? You throw him up against a 40-foot Allosaurus. I don't know. Think he's getting eaten. He's becoming Allosaurus shit. Liopleurodon, he's got him. That dude is 80 feet long. He don't even give a fuck. He don't even pay attention to little Razana. He's like, Razana, little pasta ass named motherfucker. Get out my face.
While Razana may not have been the only large predator, with its powerful jaws, it could easily have been the most dominant one. In this regard, it mirrors the terror birds. Just as they were some of the few members of Dinosaura to become apex predators in a world now dominated by mammals, Razana was perhaps the last terrestrial crocodile relative that was an apex predator in a world now dominated by dinosaurs. Raisin and Dragobe is also remarkable in another way. It is the earliest known Nodosuchian.
Okay, now we're getting into relationships here. Yeah, so we don't need to hear about his love life. But there is Razana, okay? And here's a good size reference. That's a teeny little, it's a size reference, but it's really small. Really small size reference here. Let's look up, oh, I can't. Oh, thank God. I was like, I'm going to have to fucking spell that whole thing out. You shitting me? Razana Gangogere. This guy, look at that. That's a beastly looking motherfucker. Yeah, I think that's a good pick right there. Let's go with this. Okay, this is gonna be our representation for Razana. So let's put Razana into our list. Yeah, where does he go on the top predators? Oh, let's pop back here. Now I'm done picking my nose. You can see me again. So Razana gonna beat out Proterosuchus. You know, I feel bad for Proterosuchus, you know, because he is an apex predator where he was at, but compared to everybody else, he's small beans, man. He's a little dude. He ain't lasting real long in this tournament. He's comparable to Saurosuchus, though. Saurosuchus, about the same size, 23 feet. Yeah, that's what we said over here, 7 meters. 22.9, 23 feet. That's what they said the biggest variation of Saurosuchus came into play, right? And he's the evolved version of Saurosuchus. So I think he beats him. Look at them little chicken legs, right? Can't beat nothing with them little ass chicken legs. Look at these big ass manly crocodile legs. Yeah, he's got him. He's winning. Okay, when it comes to Ichthyosaurus, again, Ichthyosaurus at this point, the Jurassic period, is off the food chain. He's bigger. Remember, he was only, what did we say? At his biggest, it was 13 feet. I think it was 10 feet. 10 feet long at his biggest during the Jurassic, when he was the top dog, because most in the ocean, top dogs weren't that big. But by Jurassic, he's bigger, but much bigger things in the ocean, like Liopleurodon over here, right? So, I'm going to put him above the Ichthyosaurus. I'm going to say Ichthyosaurus just to even it out, right? We got Saurosuchus, then Ichthyosaurus, right? He wins out because he's got that fucking psycho eye, that look in his eye. He wants to eat somebody, stab somebody multiple times. This guy, oh, God, just smoking that reefer again, my bad. Rosanna is the improved version of Saurosuchus, so I'm going to put him ahead of Ichthyosuchus. He is going to go behind Allosaurus, though, because the only reason he was, as far as that video says, which we're going to go with that video, that was, well, I've already got the name of that guy. Sorry, my dude. Liked your video. Gave you a shout out earlier. But video dude, what he said, was only the top predator on Madagascar, the island of Madagascar, okay, or what was Madagascar, right? You would throw him in the ring with Allosaurus, 40 feet long, right? Nah, this guy's going to win. Allosaurus is going to win. And, of course, Liopleurodon, no contest. He don't care. He's not concerned. Now, so, makes our top three, Liopleurodon, Allosaurus, and Rosanna. Top three, okay? We got to look. 1, 2, 3 more. 3 more to go on this list. And that gives us our 9 badasses of the Mesozoic era. Okay. And we're going to throw a name out here because I can't not throw it out, right? T-Rex. We're not going to talk about the T-Rex, though, because everybody talks about the T-Rex. T-Rex is everywhere, dog. Everybody knows who he is. He's a famous boy. Okay, let's pop this over here. Well, that does not help us. Let's try it again. There we go. Better. Okay. So, T-Rex, yeah. Obvious pick. We're talking about apex predators of the Mesozoic era. Jurassic is right there in the middle. And the top dog of the Jurassic, from everything I've read, is the T-Rex, right? T-Rex is the big boy. Again, Allosaurus, it doesn't even compare, right? So, body length, 12.35 meters. Let's put that in there, 12.35, 40 feet long, okay? So, bigger than the Allosaurus, right? And meaner. The Tyrannosaurus Rex, it was put in Jurassic Park movie for a reason, because he's a bad motherfucker. Okay, he fucks everybody else up, right? He was the top dog of the Tyrannosaurids, or whatever they're called, the Tyrannosaurids, or whatever their name was. So, realistically, he's going to go at the top of our list. And maybe you can pop him below Liopleurodon, because, Liopleurodon isn't coming on land anytime soon. But if T-Rex goes into the ocean, he wanders too close to that water. Liopleurodon here, he's eating his ass. So maybe you could swap him. We're going to put T-Rex at number 1. And that's that. He's not actually on my list. I wanted to talk about second place to T-Rex. It's T-Rex number 2, right? Because he never gets talked about. Nobody ever talks about the number 2 guy. They only talk about the number 1 guy, T-Rex. Everybody knows him. We're going to talk about the Tarbosaurus, right? So, Tarbosaurus batar, Greek for alarming lizard. Well, that's a little better. Was a genus Tyrannosaurid dinosaur, which flourished during the late Cretaceous period 80 to 70 million years ago. So, Cretaceous. This guy was not around for the T-Rex, or he was, but he thrived during the Cretaceous period. That's where his heyday was. Evidence suggests that Tarbosaurus is too distinct from Tyrannosaurus for the two to be the same thing. Their skeletons at one point in time were found, and people compared them and said, oh, this is a T-Rex, and they said, no, it's his own thing. It would have coexisted with another much smaller Tyrannosaurid called the Alioramus. So, did not exist with the T-Rex, which is why he got to have his spot in the limelight, because T-Rex might have fucked him up. He measured 30 to 40 feet long, though. Okay. Tarbosaurus can be compared to as a very similar to its more infamous North American counterpart, the T-Rex. Its bone-crushing bite would have single-handedly destroyed its prey, and the estimated stride lengths of these large carnivores would have given it the ability to stalk after prey. Tarbosaurus probably picked on some of the herbivores in its area. The Hadrosaurid would have probably supplied it with the majority of its prey. Tarbosaurus has an unusually huge skull compared to the rest of the body, but it was quite light due to the holes in the skull called antorbital fenestrae. Okay. So let's see. Let's take a look. Yada yada. Upper jaw proved very interesting as it possesses more than 20 extremely large knife-shaped teeth. The skull in general seems to have many similarities with its North American cousin, the T-Rex, prompting many to place it in the Tyrannosaurus genus. It would later be changed. The close similarities have also prompted some scientists to suggest a possible link between the T-Rex and this guy who existed in Eurasia. Okay, so he existed on a different continent from the T-Rex and a different time, perhaps in the form of a land bridge. The discovery of Linthronax, that's another Tyrannosaurus, further cements this relationship, as it shows Tarbosaurus is most closely related to Tyrannosaurus and some other guy, while Linthronax stands as the successor taxon to this clade. I don't know what any of that means. Only one species of Tarbosaurus has been officially established. Tarbosaurus is very well represented in the fossil record, known from dozens of specimens, including several complete skulls and skeletons. Ooh, okay, that's cool, that's good. The largest known individuals were about 11 meters long. So, 11 meters long here. Okay, what do we say? Oh yeah, so 11 meters. That's the largest. So a little bit smaller than our T-Rex at 36 feet long. Okay. So he still got it though. Got a cough again. Killing me. So they would prey on hadrosaurs or sauropods. Adults would have received little competition from small theropods. And they're just naming a bunch of those. Sometimes considered, I don't even know. I can't say that word. Basalt tyrannosauroid. Okay, other theropods, like the gigantic Therizinosaurus, might have been herbivorous and omnivorous, such as this and that. And gigantic Dinocaris might have been omnivorous. Now they're just purposely throwing big words at me that I can't say, these fuckers. Okay, well, moving on then. Gonna be dicks about it. Going to see big old dicks. Here's a good size comparison right here, right? So you can see in real time. Here's the T-Rex. Actually, I think that's that same picture we got, isn't it? No, over here. No, not close. Okay. Oh, yeah, we can get rid of this. Yeah, not the same picture. Oh, well. So Tyrannosaurus Rex right here at 40 feet. Tarbosaurus right here at 36 feet, roughly. Okay, so just a tad smaller. If they had existed in the same period, remember, Tarbosaurus was in the Cretaceous period, and we didn't research the T-Rex to know, but I thought the T-Rex was just the Jurassic period. I may be wrong. It doesn't matter, because even if the T-Rex did exist in the Cretaceous period, the Tarbosaurus was in Eurasia. T-Rex was in North America. So, different areas. And let's see if they have, there's the Albertosaurus, but they don't have our Allosaurus on there. Okay, no Allosaurus, but Allosaurus was very comparable to the two in size. I think he was a little bit smaller. If we look at this size comparison, there's you standing there. There's this guy behind you. Compared to that, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tarbosaurus, way bigger, right? Okay, so where does he go on our list? Pretty easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? We already have the T-Rex, number one, best known heavyweight of the apex predators. Tarbosaurus is just behind him in size, but then you have the Liopleurodon, right? We don't need to concern ourselves. Tarbosaurus is going to kick Proterosuchus's little behind. Same with Saurosuchus, going to kick his ass. Ichthyosaurus, he's got him. Although the Ichthyosaurus, remember, he hits, what does he hit? 40 feet by the end of the Cretaceous period. So he's about the same length or same size as the Tarbosaurus. He's just in the water. But he kicks his butt. And then the Rhizana, I think he beats Rhizana. Remember Rhizana, two different periods. But Rhizana was only an apex predator because he was on Madagascar, right? Beats Allosaurus. I don't think he beats Liopleurodon. Liopleurodon is still the bad boy of the ocean, at least for now. Okay, that's going to change here in a minute. So I'm going to take Tarbosaurus and put him behind Liopleurodon, right? So he takes the number 3 spot, taking out Allosaurus. You were gone, Allosaurus. No placing for you, no medals for this guy. It's a shame. We're going to move on to number 8 of our 9 apex predators. And we're going back into the ocean. And let's see if the Liopleurodon is still in the number 2 spot after this bad boy, the Mosasaurus. So let's pop over here for the video. Right, y'all. And here we go. Check it out.
Mosasaurs are a group of extinct marine lizards that lived during the late Cretaceous. Imagine a Komodo dragon, except it's the size of a school bus, with flipper-like limbs, a shark-like tail, and an extra row of teeth on the roof of its mouth.
Oh, shit. They just gave this guy all kinds of evolutionary advantages, right? Big mouth, got the flippers. I believe this dude, we all know the Mosasaurus, right? Everybody's heard of the Mosasaurus because there he is right there. Compare him to these other guys. He's a big dude. Look at you. There's you just swimming along, scuba diving, looking at the fishies, and that big ass mouth take you out. We all know Mosasaurus because of the Jurassic World movies, right? That's the guy that was in the Shark Tank. They literally feed him whole sharks. That's this dude.
I think the biggest misconception is that they are dinosaurs, which is not the case.
We have many students.
Yeah. By the way, channel American Museum of Natural History. Give them a like. Subscribe if you like dinosaurs or whatever Mosasaurus is, right?
Come here, particularly working on dinosaurs. She's the only student interested in Mesosaurus.
It was really exciting when the glass came off, because the glass has not come off in 30 years since the hall has been renovated. So it was really cool to be the first person to touch these fossils in 30 years. Part of my research here is describing that fossil so we can better understand that group of mosasaurs as a whole. Mosasaurs were fully marine, which means that they did not return to the land. Their fossils have been found on every continent, including Antarctica, because they were living in the oceans and crossing the oceans. We actually have fossils of the same species in Europe as we do on the east coast of North America.
So that's kind of important, right? Because some of our entries here, like Rhizana, yeah, and where is he at? Tarbosaurus, right? They were only the apex predators because they existed on a very small, tiny piece of land where the other apex predators couldn't get to them. This bad boy, Mosasaurus, he was everywhere. He got around.
Mosasaurs lived between 100 and 66 million years ago, and they went extinct with the same asteroid that killed the dinosaurs.
Mosasaurus, it's a marine reptile. Specifically, it's a marine lizard. So this animal, although it has big teeth, it's not a dinosaur. We don't see any dinosaur lived in the marine environment.
The reptile evolutionary tree has two main branches, the archosaurs and the lepidosaurs. Dinosaurs, birds, crocs, and turtles belong to the archosaur branch, and mosasaurs and other lizards and snakes belong to the lepidosaur
Oh, that's
branch.
crazy. So this dude's ancestors of snakes? That's fucking wild.
Mesosaurs have been studied for many years, but still there are many very basic issues. But right now, for example, whether it's more closely related to lizard or snakes, it's still a debatable issue.
Okay.
The biggest lizards alive today are the Komodo dragons, which are about 10 feet long. The largest pythons get to be 26 to 30 feet long. The biggest mosasaurs that we have found so far are estimated to have been almost 50 feet long, which is
50
bigger than a
feet
school bus
long.
and bigger than any T-Rex. So they're very big.
Big boys.
We want
Okay. 50 feet long. Look at that. That makes me second guess that 80-foot estimate on this bad boy, right? But let's keep learning. Let's see if they got anything to say about that.
Studied their evolutionary path, how they became a terrestrial animal and gradually evolved into an aquatic animal. Animals going from the terrestrial life, going back to ocean, tend to become a large body size because you don't have to carry your body. If you walk on the ground, the gravity will bring you down to the surface. You have to spend more energy. But in the water, you don't have that problem.
We think mosasaurs were able to grow to be so big because they had a lot of food available to
Yeah, look at this little lobster fish thing here. The crawdad. He's like, fuck you, man. Fight you to the death. Yeah, crawdads don't give a fuck what you are. They will bite the shit out of you. They don't care how big you are. They're always ready to box.
them. Mosasaurs would eat basically anything and everything that moved. We know that based on the shapes of their teeth, their actual stomach contents, and bite marks on other animals that lived with mosasaurs.
Ah, okay.
Similar to mammals, in mosasaurs, the teeth is implanted into the jawbone. This is different from the other reptiles. It's more stable, so you can apply more power on those teeth to handle your prey, to handle your food.
People might think that mosasaurs looked like crocodiles with armored skin, when really that's not the case. We actually have skin impressions of real mosasaur skin where we can see that the scales are kind of diamond shaped and they have a little keel down the middle, which is very similar to if you've ever seen shark skin under a microscope. So that would have helped them to swim faster.
Look at that. Okay.
This is Tylosaurus proriger. It was first described in 1899, and it has not been described in the literature since. The little one, the Clidastes, has actually never been formally described, which is a little bit insane if you think about it, because it is a nearly complete skeleton, and the skull is in almost perfect condition.
Perfectly preserved fossils are very, very rare. The percentage of real specimens on display are the highest in any museum.
That's
I
cool.
hope that by looking at different features in a little bit more detail and using modern techniques like CT scanning and surface scanning, we can better understand mosasaurs.
Okay, well, there you have it. There's the mosasaur. There's a lot about the mosasaur skeleton, right? Again, here's that comparison. This is saying, yep, 56 feet. We need to do a little sleuth in here. Okay. Who was bigger? Lioplorodon? There it is. Oop. Or Mosasaurus. Size comparison. Okay. Lioplorodon was the smallest of the three. 23 feet long, according to Bing's IA, compared to the Mosasaurus, which was 43 to 58 feet long. Okay, so whatever source we had, right? That's not me. I didn't pick these sources by myself. Now, I'm not taking the blame for all this. I'm taking you down with me. This is not entirely accurate as far as 80 feet goes. So we got to do a little bit of moving, shuffling around. If that shit ain't 80 feet, 23 feet is what that said. Yeah, 23 feet long. Okay. He is going down a peg from Tarbosaur, right? And Allosaurus. Let's see. How big was Allosaurus again? 7.7 meters. Okay. 7 meters. What was that? 13 feet? I got it right here. Oh, I don't. I lost it. Go back. No. Shit. 4 meters. 7 meters. 23 feet. So they're about even. Okay. So Liopleurodon can exist above the Allosaurus. We'll give him that. He only goes down 1. But the Mosasaurus, this bad boy, look at that monster right there. He's going to go, let's see, it's him or the T-Rex. I'm putting him in number 1. I like him in number 1. Mosasaurus going in numero uno. All right. Now I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say. Okay. They didn't tell us what period he existed in, though, did they? They completely flubbed that part of it, didn't they? See, New American, whatever the name of your channel was, you done fucked that up. But anyways, we're going to go. I went too fast. You didn't see that. We're going to go to our last guy here. I guess you can see it now. Hatzegopteryx. Hatzegopteryx. We're gonna see if I got that one right. I mean, the chance that I got that right is very, very small, right? But look at this guy compared to a giraffe. He's as big as a giraffe. Fuck that shit. Is this a better picture? Yeah, that's okay. What about this picture? That's a nice picture. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Let's learn a little bit about the Hatzegopteryx thingy. This is Allosaurus, not Allosaurus, Allosaurus. He only got 10,000 subscribers, so give him a like on the video. If this video is pretty good, let's give him a subscribe, right? Show him a little love. Let's learn about Hatzi. Yeah, that's a good nickname until I learn how to say it. Hatzi.
Hunters like T-Rex have never reached this little island. So it should be a safe place for a mother to raise her brood.
Aw, look at that little guy. So fucking cute.
But not
Goofy face, though. Look at that. Little spider's working hard. Oh, shit. Here they come. Get down. Don't forget your baby. Get them little babies out of there. Oh. Bet she got a baby.
Hatzegopteryx.
How did he say that? Did he say Hatzegopteryx? I think so.
Giant
I might have gotten it right. Oh shit, look at me.
predatory pterosaurs.
Yeah, look at those bad boys.
The best chance of escape is beneath the canopy of the taller trees.
Oh shit.
These
little
small
babies.
calves have been left behind among the saplings.
Oh. You dumb bitch. Left your baby.
Mother and young are separated.
Well, that's your own damn fault, woman. Oh. Here come the big ass birds. Oh no. Little babies run.
Hatzegopteryx are very intelligent pterosaurs.
Even the fucking YouTube, even the subtitles can't pronounce this shit. So you can't give me no heartburn for that. That's a Goptrix. I'm pretty sure I got it though.
Now that the element of surprise has gone, they change tactics. Spreading out across the clearing, they try to flush out any prey that might still be there.
Oh shit. I don't know if I can watch
The
this.
youngster's best hope is to stay completely still.
Don't move. I don't know.
And not to run.
It's gonna run. Oh, look at, oh, he went for it. Oh no. He can't even run. Get out of, oh. Well, that's a bummer. He just snuck by though. Oh geez, poor little baby. Okay, well,
Trouble is
that's the Hatzagopteryx. The Hatzagopteryx. Yeah.
hunters like T-Rex.
Pretty sure I got it. That was pretty good. I'm pretty sure, now that I'm looking at it, that, I don't know, I don't think Allosaurus here made Prehistoric Planet 2. That's all I'm saying here. But still, give him a like. That was a good video. I enjoyed watching it. And let's pop this guy over. Meow. Wait, where'd he go? There. Okay. Look at that. The size of a giraffe. Fuck that shit. That's you right there. Who texting me? So that's you right there. Just chilling. Right? The giraffe is cool. The giraffe's just a giraffe. He's just being a giraffe. He's like, hey, you got any bananas? And then this fucking guy comes over like, fuck bananas. I want that head. Crap. Eat you. That's you getting eaten by this guy. A big ass bird. Never thought that would happen. Yeah. Well, it's not really a bird. It's a, you know, pterosaur. Right? Like a pterodactyl. It's just a really big one. But him and that giraffe, look at that giraffe. He's just like, what the fuck is that guy? Distant cousins. Look at those necks. So let's put him in our list, right? Okay. So him against the mosasaur. They didn't say how big it got. We're going to have to look that up. And I'm going to have to spell it. Shit. How big did Oh, it's not going to help me. Oh my God. I can't believe I had to spell that whole thing out practically. Whew. 39 feet tall. Oh, wait. Wingspan of 39 feet. 18 feet tall. That's still big. That's still big. 18 feet tall and 39 feet wingspan. So his wingspan is almost as big as a mosasaurus. They get about 50 feet. So no, it's not that close. Yeah. There's no way Hatzagopteryx is fucking with the mosasaur. He's still numero uno. 18 feet tall. Tyrannosaurus. How high did he get? What was his height? Body length was 12 meters. 12 meters was what? That was 23 feet, 12.35. Listen, 40 feet. Okay, 40 feet long compared to 18 feet tall, 39-foot wingspan. Yeah. So it got a wingspan almost as long as the T-Rex. I think it probably wouldn't go fucking with the T-Rex, though. I mean, he's an apex predator, but I feel like T-Rex takes him. Yeah. I'm putting him, he's behind the T-Rex, too. Tarbosaurus. Tarbosaurus was what? What was he? How big did he get? 36 feet. T-Rex was 40 feet. Tarbosaurus was 36 feet. I don't know here. And then Liopleurodon, yeah, 23 feet. Okay. I'm going to put him in number 3. I feel good about that, you know, because I fucking want to, and it's my list. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, let's get rid of this. So, oh, it didn't tell us what time he lived in too. What period did, I'm going to have to spell this word again, Hatzagopteryx live in? Cretaceous period. The late Cretaceous period. Ah, so he would have. So where did he live? It says, oh, where period. Yeah, get that out of there. Okay. Transylvania and Romania. Okay. So, that's not anywhere near Eurasia, is it? Is Romania in Eurasia? We're going to have to... You know, we're going to have to just being... I know you're trying your best, but Google's got it. Is Romania in Eurasia? Yes. Okay. So the Hatzegopteryx did exist at the same time and in the same place as the Tarbosaurus. Okay. I have a feeling that Hatzegopteryx wasn't trying to fuck with the Tarbosaurus. Yeah. And 18 feet tall. You know, how big these guys were. Let's see. That goes up to about his belly button. Yeah, where his jeans would go. Same with him. They're very comparable. They're comparable. I think the Tarbosaurus probably would take out a Hatzegopteryx, you know, but it would be a close fight. I'm putting him in number 3 just because I like the idea of number 1 being an aquatic, a marine reptile, as we know, because they reminded us like 15 fucking times. And then the T-Rex, land guy, land god, right? And then let's put the birdie in there. Let's mix it up. And then Tarbosaurus coming in at number 4, just out of the number 3. He's just inched out by this guy only because I think he's cooler. And then Larpleurodon in number 5. He beats out the Allosaurus in number 6, who beats out Rhizana in number 7, who beats out the Ichthyosaurus, crazy ass dolphin motherfucker, in number 8, in number 7. Number 8 is a Saurosuchus. And number 9, taking up the end, is Proterosuchus, right? The crocodile who would still fuck you up, so don't say nothing to him. And there it is. That is my 9 favorite apex predators of the Mesozoic era. So let's pop over here. Hello. And boom. Okay. That's the end of my stream. That is the end of all Wildlife Wednesdays. Can you believe it? We're done forever. No more aminals on this channel because y'all don't like that. Y'all are just too fucking cool for the rest of us losers who like our dinosaurs. That's okay. I'm going to be coming back next Wednesday with I still don't know what I'm going to call it. Like World Events Wednesdays. I think I'm just going to call it that. I'm going to just research politics. I'm going to learn what's going on in the world, spend 2 hours to actually sit here and learn more about what's happening in the world, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing next Wednesday. We'll see if y'all like that better than dinosaurs. But I don't know. Y'all are crazy to me. Anyways, that does it for Wildlife Wednesday. That does it for Apex Predators of the Mesozoic era. Tomorrow, I will be back for a 2-hour stream around the same time to do a deep dive into lighting. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow is Thursday. I won't be here Thursday. I'll be gone because me and my cutie pie are having a date night. So, fuck y'all. I'm hanging out with her. So, won't see you tomorrow. Next time I'll be back is Friday for Film Buff Fridays around 6 to 7 p.m. doing deep dive on lighting. Okay, we're continuing our film theory series. So, that's what I'm doing. That'll be Friday. In the meantime, you guys have an awesome Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday. You have a good Thursday. To anybody who tuned into the live stream, I really appreciate you hanging out. And to anybody who sees the YouTube video, if you watched all the way to the end, good for you. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks for doing so. And I hope you learned something. And I hope you had a good time hanging out, talking about some dinosaurs. So, if you enjoy this kind of thing, too bad, because I'm never doing it again. But you can always come back and watch other shit on my channel. And leave this video a like and subscribe. If you don't mind, helps the channel. So, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful night. Peace.